This is your Irontrader, and this is Midday Trading. Well, today it's all about this guy right here, Powell. 2 o'clock, they're going to announce, I think they're going to cut the quarter point. And then we want to listen to the speech at 2:30. Right now, the Dow's up about 208. S&P is flat, and the Nasdaq's down a little bit. So let's just see what that speech says at 2:30. So a lot of times what it is, the market will go in both directions. So give it a good that half hour or so there to play out. Let's see what direction she goes in. Okay, we're going to take a look at some stocks here today that their earnings are out basically, well, that'll be today after the close, okay? So what we're looking at is, first one is going to be Oracle, and then Adobe, and then Synopsys, and then we're going to take a look here at OneStream. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, so it's not about ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have Oracle. Now the earnings are here today after the old close. So let's just see what we got going here. So you can see here what it is. We had this high right here, but that 331. We had another high here at that 329 level. And basically we just had that spike high. So we had a double top situation, tried to rally up again, couldn't do it, and we're coming right on off. And now we're back up here above the simple moving average. So let me just pick this up and see where we are. Okay, so on the downside here, we're watching all this whole thing right here. Number one, first is going to be 213's 71 level we have. You got 213.11, and then we have right there 212.66. So everything is sitting right here, all your key support levels, okay? So right now, if we lose that, we're going to come down to the bottom of that candle right there. You're looking at 206.32. We'll come down there at 199.40 level, come down there at that 196 level. And then we have this big retest down here at 185.63 level, okay? Now, again, what I want to show you on this is when we look at this bottom of this candle, 185.63, we want to look to the bottom of also of this candle, which was basically 188.88. Now, again, when we start losing this 185 level, then we're going to go right here to the top of this candle. That's 179.55. That's the gap fill. Right now, we penetrate a little bit into the gap, but we have not filled that gap at that 199.55. So that would be your next target zone. But that's only if you lose that 185.63. Now, here to the upside, you can see here we have this sideways consolidation. So what you're really looking for, we'll look at the top of this candle, is you're looking at 227.05 level. We'll look at 228 level, and then we'll come up to the top of this candle at that 234 level, all right? Then what we can do is we can come right here at that 237. There's your price channel, and then we can come up to that 50-day at 250.93. Then we have this 100-day at 255.47. So you got to let the earnings play out. Let's just see what we have there for as far as the scenario, if we can take it higher. But watch all this key support level. That 213, 212 level, that's going to be very, very strong support. If we lose it, then we can come down and retest that 185. Now, right here, we're not overbought or here or oversold. You're only sitting at 47. The green is over your red. Shows that we have a good, like a little bit uptrending situation. But realistically, overall, you have a downtrending chart. You have to get at least above that price channel, that 237. And then we head for that 50-day and possibly even that 100 SMA here. Okay, let's take a look here now at Adobe. All right, here we have Adobe. Now you can see here how we have a downtrending whole system, okay? So let's just take a look at that. See how we're downtrending? So let's just look at here at the overall last earnings, okay? So on this earnings here, we went and then we popped up and rallied up. This earnings here, we gapped down. This earnings here, you gap down. This earnings here, you gap down. This earnings here, you gap down. And this here earnings here, totally flat ski, okay? So again, we got to see how this is all going to shake out right here, okay? So what we're really watching, let me just pick that up there for you. Okay, what you're really watching here on the upside is going to, first of all, is going to be this 100-day at 345.72. Then we have that nice retest there at 348.59, okay? Now, if we can get above that, then we have a nice target up here at 355.52. There's your gap. And then look below that at 357.80, okay? So if we can crack above this price channel at 348.59, then we're going to be looking right there at the top of that candle, at 355.52. Look to the bottom of that candle, 355.58. There's your gap fill. Then we look to the top of this candle right there at 363.70. We get above that, we have a nice 200-day sitting at 368, and that will be your big L target. Now, again, if you can crack it back up here, all we do is just start layering it back up at 370.86 level. We'll bring that price channel across there, 376 level. We'll come up here. We're looking at 386. We'll bring this price channel up here all the way to 392. And then we have another big gap up here at 405. Then we look to the bottom of that candle. That's at 416. I mean 410.77. We have 405 is your gap. 410.77 is your fill. Then we can look to the top of that candle at 422.95. However, that's way, way up there, but I always like to show you where it could possibly go. But the key is what you really want to watch is just watch that price channel, 348.59. If we can get above that, watch that gap, that fill. But realistically, that 200-day, 368.09, that is going to be key. Okay? Now, on the downside here, you want to watch that 50-day. Look at 336.44, and we want to watch that 8-day, 334.36. Now, you can see how that 8-day crossed the 21-day here. Now you're headed right towards the 50, so that's going to provide some very, very nice support level. And we have that 328. That would be next if we lose that 8-day. And then obviously you retest down here at 311. But if you look at this, see how we have this pole, we have a bull flag setting up here. Okay, so just remember they have a bull flag setting up. You have a good bullish crossover from your 8-day over on your 21-day headed towards the 50-day. So the key is going to be crossing above that 358, 48.59. Then we can hit to the gap to fill, and then we can look for that old 200 SMA here. But let the earnings shake out. Let's see how they work out. Now, this is not overbought, oversold. You're only sitting at 59. Your green is over your red. That's looking very, very good here again. But again, what always is a little bit shaky is when you see these earnings periods, okay, and they're really not doing anything except gapping on down. Okay, so we say that, see how that gap down. See this earning period, how it gapped down. This earning period gap down. This earning period gap down. Okay, so always take the past into consideration of what it is going forward. Okay, let's take a look here now at Synopsys. All right, here we have Synopsys. Their earnings are also after the close. So let's take a look at what's done in the past, okay? So right here, looked like it rallied up here. This here looked like it popped up and then sold on down. This one here popped up and then sold down. Another one popped up, sold down. This one here looked like it popped up also and then sold down and then rallied up hard. Now this one here, we had that big gap down, okay? So that the last earnings period was not good. This was it right here. And then she came all the way down. We have not retraced that gap yet, okay? So now, the key though is we put up double bottom in here, okay? See how we have this candle? That candle is 602, 50 level. We retested that bad boy right there at that 376 level, okay? See that again, okay? 380, 84, okay? Come right there. We look at that, 388.01, okay? Right there, boom. Double bottom situation, and then we've been rallying up. Now look at that 8-day, cross the 21-day, cross the 50-day, and it's pushing that price up higher. Now the key to this is going to be that price channel, 471.63. You got to get and close back above that one. If you do, you can hit this 200-day right here as your next target, 488.21. Then your next target is 502.30, okay? Now if you can get through that, then we're going to come right here to the top of this candle. That's at 515.64. There's your gap, okay? There's your gap. Okay, and then if it keeps right on rolling, you got to fill all the way up here at 602. Okay, so you look at the top of that candle at 515.64, and you can rally all the way up here at 602.50. Not saying it's going to go straight up, but once you start getting into these gaps, kind of a situation, it seems like it just wants like a magnet to a fridge to go right to the gap fill, and then possibly you could go higher right to that level there at that 614 level. However, there's a lot of resistance here. You got that 200-day at 488. You got this 100-day at 502. So that's going to provide a lot of good resistance. However, you have the 8-day here, which is rolling up nice. So on the downside, you want to definitely watch that 460.26. That's that 8-day. That's your support level. Your next level is going to be 437. 29. But then we have this gap, okay? So you look at the bottom of that candle, 429.20. That's your support level. Then we look to the top of this candle at 418, okay? So look at for your gap, okay, 429.20, and then look for your fill at 418.89, and then we have right here 420 level, all sitting right there. But always pay attention to those gaps and fills. A lot of times we can do it. If you lose the 8 and the 50-day, it can come right down to that gap. And that's where it could stop and then rally right back up again. Once you start getting into that fill, then it wants to fill it, but we have the 21 right there. We lose that. You're going to retest this 376 level all the way down here, okay? So that's what you're looking at, that 376 level right here. This one right here. This was that 380 level. So we have a nice, good double bottom situation going here. Nice, good double bottom situation. And then she rallied up here very, very nicely. Now, the key is you have to get back above that price channel, 471.63 to, start the uptrend again. But then watch that 200-day, watch that 100-day, and then watch the top of this candle. That's going to be very, very key. That's at 515.64. Keeps right on rally. Now, with this here, you know, you got a ways to go. Okay, I mean, you're only sitting at 67, so you could jump up like we did here to get to that overbought situation, but we are sitting towards the top of it. The green is still over your red, but again, you'd have to see what the earnings are going to be. So I would be a little bit patient with this, like all these earnings, because you just don't know what's going to happen. So again, just watch that 8-day and that 50-day, the gap fill, the 21-day. But on the upside, if you can crack that, watch that 488, that 200-day, and watch that Hondo. Okay, let's take a look here at OneStream. All right, here we had OneStream. Now, if you look at this bottom here, 1651, okay, all you do is look to the left of the chart here. What do you see? 1669. See that double bottom? Nice. Now, it rallied right on up here, went above that 200-day, looked like she was pushing higher, but obviously it couldn't hold it. Came right on down, retested it, and gapped down, and now we're just sitting sideways action. So downside, right there, just watch that 816 level. That's going to be very, very key, okay? If we lose that, we just bring this price channel right down to there. Okay, you're looking at 1801. Then we just bring this price channel over. We're looking at 1777 level. Then we can come all the way down here. You're looking at 1702, and then 1651 is your retest. Now, the 8-day crossed over again. See, it couldn't rally up, couldn't keep it on and push him. It crossed over your 100-day and your 21-day, and now she crossed over your 50-day. She's coming on down. So this is going to be very strong. 1911, there's your 8-day, okay? And then we have the 50-day right above it on resistance on 1928. Then we have your 100-day at 20, and then we have your 2023. So you got a lot of resistance. In order to break, you have to break through. So you're going to need some kind of a catalyst to break through. If you can, we look at the top of that candle, 2131, and then 2225. That's your 200-day. Then we have a retest here at 2374. Then we can look all the way to the top of that candle at 2394. But right now, this is just sideways action, and all the simple is below all the simple moving averages, which really is not good. Okay, so right now 43, we'd have sideways action. The green is below your red. That shows like a downtrend situation, which obviously we have. But right now we just have sideways action. So you're going to need a catalyst to crack above the 8, the 50-day, the 100-day, and the 200-day in order even to get back up. So right now here, this could be just like this, kind of like almost like dead money situation. So just be very, very careful on this trade right here. Okay, that's what I got for you. Now remember, the Fed meeting is at 2 o'clock. I believe that they're going to lower a quarter point. That doesn't mean, mortgage rates and everything is going to come down, because it goes by the Treasury, I'm saying, the yield curve. But again, also, watch and see what he's got to say at 2:30. It could be a market mover. But remember, a lot of times when you have that information out there, the market will go down, the market will go up. And it usually goes back and forth for a half hour, 45 minutes. And then we'll see at the end of the day exactly how it shakes out. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.